Mich, good morning and thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you guys for having me.
Do you follow these searches you check out from the beginning of the year?
Yeah, so this period we looked at from January till last week Friday essentially, and what people are searching. So these are trending searches. Yes. So what are the things that just really popped in the year?
Okay. So different categories, trending in different. So let's take us through. You've got top trending South African searches. Let's start with that and tell us what you found there.
Yeah, so I think South Africans are very interested in what happens around them. So Global Citizen was on the list.
Of course.
Load shedding was on the list, obviously. We have Zuma on the list. So you look at what have been happening in the country and what are South Africans talking about. And those are usually what people look for because they want to learn more, they want to get new information about
Is there anything we should read from the fact that 6 of the top 10 searches are related to local stuff? You've mentioned Global Citizen, you mentioned Zuma, for example, you mentioned load shedding.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great thing to see that because often we see South Africans looking outwards to what is happening globally and what people are doing outside of South Africa or making global news. So it's really exciting this time to see that there's a lot of South African interest. People are interested in what is happening here. They're interested in what is going on in their borders and what's going on, in their neighborhoods. So that's really good to see.
And I'd like to go to the top questions. What were South Africans curious about? What were we wanting to know about this year?
Aside from how to get pregnant?
Yes.
Yes, obviously.
Not all of us. No,
not all of us.
Don't look at me.
Yeah, so South Africans always ask some, either current questions or things like what happened to WHP, which was a question. How much the Global Citizen tickets?
What is listeriosis?
What is listeriosis, which also made the top searches list as well, top trending searches list, because these are things that were happening around them. And I think with the listeriosis one, it's this thing that came over the country for a huge period of time, and people wanted to understand it.
It was a matter of like daily stuff, bread and butter stuff.
And with Global Citizen tickets, obviously that was a huge thing as well. And people wanted to know if they could actually buy some because you had to earn tickets. So these are curious things.
I'm guilty, not guilty, but I asked one of these also.
Which one?
Well,
how
two
to
of
get
them.
Pregnant?
No, I'm sure. No, I know how to do that. But how old is Meghan Markle and how old is Prince Harry? I had to find out. I had to know what that difference.
Someone said to me yesterday, "This seems dodgy. Who really wants to know how old Prince Harry?"
I wanted to know. I wanted to know the
difference. Now we know one of the people that search for that.
Yeah, another category that you have, Mich, which interested me, is the top near me searches.
Yes,
I mean, you look at what people are looking at, and top of that is jobs.
Yep, absolutely. So again, this speaks to the mind of the nation as well, right? So unemployment is a huge issue in South Africa and Africa as a continent. So people are really interested and desperate for jobs. And one of the things, so this is not a new insight for us, this jobs query.
Yes.
Because earlier this year, because of insights like these, we actually launched a job features within search so people could find jobs based on things like proximity and qualifications and salary that they required. So it really is something we've seen quite a bit of.
You can tell by number 2 what South Africans are busy ordering with Mr. Delivery or somebody. Nando's making it to
Well, look, it's a healthy choice, I think.
But also, I guess their advertising campaigns of interest.
Absolutely.
Nando's is very cheeky and maverick when it comes to advertising.
Well, I'm very happy to see that in the search for top women, Winnie Madikizela Mandela comes top of that list, even ahead of Meghan Markle, even ahead of a certain Kardashian.
Yes, absolutely. So that was impressive to see.
That was impressive also.
And Shell Zondi's on the list.
Yes, Shell Zondi. Yes,
Shell Zondi made the list as well. So.
But in terms of personalities, I just want to know the differentiator. You got women and you got personalities. So I guess personalities will include men. Yeah. I guess. And Zuma is still people are still we're still obsessed with Zuma.
But I mean, think about what happened. This is the year that Zuma resigned, impeached, depending on who you ask, and Cyril took over. So for people, there was a lot of interest. What I found fascinating was, previous years, we would have Jacob Zuma as the term people search for. This year, they just search for Zuma.
Oh, which Zuma were they looking for?
I mean, so it's very, very... I mean, someone said to me, well, we know they're not looking for like a Kenneth Zuma. They know exactly which Zuma. They just couldn't be bothered to finish typing it out.
And our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, made it.
Of course.
On the second.
And Patrice Motsepe is also on the list.
Yeah, and although that happened recently, I'm fascinated, having measured from the 1st of January to last week Friday, our new NPA head, Shamila Batoyi, came in there. That was a lot of interest by the public in the appointment of the new NPA boss.
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, it's trending searches. So, just because something, if you look at Global Citizen as well, Global Citizen only happened, the announcement was, I think, in July, and it only happened a few
2 weeks ago.
few weeks ago. So it's in the period that the thing happened is the sheer volume of search that people have also bring them to the top.
So very briefly before you go, Mich, the big takeout then in terms of this, if you're looking at this for South Africans' Googling behavior, what would you say it is?
I would say that South Africans are very curious. They're interested in what is happening around them. They also like entertainment, but they want information to go with their life.
And they want babies.
Definitely want babies.
To get pregnant.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the head of communications for Google South Africa, Mich Atagana, discussing this year's trends, what we were doing, what we were looking for, what we were Googling.